bit chilly, but I wanted to show you the place we are now in. We are in Como, actually not very close to Como. We are doing a meeting, staying a couple of nights in this beautiful house, and tomorrow we're gonna go to the Vacation Rental World Summit, where I'll have the honor to present trips on stage. I'm very excited about that, and I'm doing this video because I haven't done anything in English for a long time now. We focused on the Italian community, and we build a community. We built a very strong theoretical foundation on trips, so we worked a lot on the white paper. And then we did a great partnership with Origin, which we believe is the future in this space. And I'm amazed at what's happening, the speed, the pace of development in Origin, the quality of the team. It's really amazing. Of the team, it's really amazing, and I feel privileged to have a look at this, and at the same time seeing that nobody really realizes, nobody in the vacation rental industry really understands what's happening. It's like seeing, I don't know, the internet being built, and nobody knows about it. So I have this presentation tomorrow, and I did my slides. They're ready. They've been ready for a couple of weeks now, and then I realized I could do something much easier, better slides, a better presentation to explain what's happening. But there was no time. I didn't have time to change them, and so in this video, I kind of do this my second, second version presentation, and because I think I found a way to explain what's actually happening here. So let's go back. No, let's suppose that we are in 2028. Okay, we are 10 years in the future. So today is 2028. We are the Vacation Rental World Summit, maybe on Mars. Who knows? There's some places on Mars with lake names in Latin, so not Lake Como, but Lake, I can't remember, but something like that. Okay, and the world has changed. The vacation rental world has changed. Things are completely different. The blockchain has taken over. Okay. And so in my presentation, I will tell you, let's go back to, we are in 2028. It was nice to see you. It's nice to see you again. We were 10 years ago in Lake Como, and you remember it was nice, and things were different. And let's go back a bit farther. Let's go back to the end of the 90s and think about phone calls. Think about these advertisements selling cheap phone calls from, this very nice one, which I think is British Telecom or something, which is advertising 3 minutes to Australia for only £2.28, something like that. So you would pay a couple of pounds for a phone call to Australia, okay? And that was like the 90s, end of the 90s. And if somebody had told you, one day calls will be free, like, why, right? And if somebody told you, it's really outrageous that you're paying this very expensive fees for a phone call, just a phone call, not even a video call. And then the telecoms were not really, at that point, the telecoms were not really innovating too much, because once you get into a state where you are extracting value from the network to build, right? So the telecoms have built incredibly, expensive networks of communication networks, and they innovated a lot. They took us from no phone at all to, direct calls from England to Australia, for instance. But then they stopped innovating. Why did they stop innovating? Because once you are making a lot of money, once you're really fat, and once you are just, making money with calls which are basically free to you, the cost of a call is marginal, is basically nothing for a telecom, and it's charging you pounds or dollars per minute. Any innovation becomes dangerous, because it could change the status quo, right? So we are in 2028, and do you remember 10 years ago in 2018, when, Booking.com was sending an invoice for one single booking, and you were paying $100 for a single booking? You remember these invoices? One booking $100, the other booking $50, the other booking $200 for one single booking. And the marginal cost for Booking.com is 0 or 1. Yeah, I'm not saying they don't spend money. They spend money in advertisement. Advertisement is, marketing is a way to say, I'm getting your customer to pass through me and not to come direct to you. Direct bookings are very hard in this industry for many reasons, because the OTAs give incredible services. They give trust. They give a very good platform. But 10 years ago, it was incredible to say, well, one day you won't pay for bookings anymore, or you will pay 1%, or you will pay basically nothing. But then it happened. We are in 2008, remember? So it happened that, let's go back to telecoms. What happened that now we have, 10 years ago, in 2018, we had free calls with, WhatsApp, free video calls. What brought this to us? Well, the internet. At a certain point, beginning of the 90s, the internet appeared, and the telecoms fought it. They said it was something used only by criminals and terrorists and pedophiles and all these horrible people, right? And of course we know that the internet is not used by them only, it's used by everybody, right? And then at a certain point, somebody outside of this industry said, okay, we can't compete with the telecoms, they have all the infrastructure, let's make something on the internet. And these small telecom companies started to use voice over IP. It was horrible for a while, it was expensive. And then Skype came. Skype, which made it a bit more usable, a bit faster. And then the broadband came, and then mobile phones, smartphones came, and then fast wireless connections, and then fast GSM connections, So the technology evolved and made free phone calls possible. And then in 2018, the same thing started happening with the blockchain. People started talking about the blockchain. And everybody was saying, well, it's slow, it's expensive, I don't understand it, why, right? But now we are in 2028, and one booking from Trips or other platforms is virtually free. And the security which these networks give you is as high as the OTAs. So the same thing happened, exactly. So the blockchain was like a second internet, okay? The first internet made communication free. The blockchain is making trust free or virtually free. We are paying the OTAs, it's 2028, we were paying Booking or Airbnb or the others because they provided trust. They were a third party which made possible bookings between two, a host and a guest who didn't know each other, to trust. Because if something went wrong, there was Booking behind, there was Airbnb behind. And we were able, through the blockchain, to move this trust on the network. In the same way, we were able to move communication from centralized companies to the internet. So here we are. Booking and Airbnb are still there. They changed model. The telecoms at a certain point 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they changed model. They started charging for data. They didn't sell phone calls anymore. You don't pay phone calls anymore, right? Or almost nothing. Every phone call goes through the internet. So the internet won. It won because it was decentralized, it was open, it was public. In the same way, the blockchain won because it was open, decentralized, and public, and censorship resistant, and a lot of other stuff I don't want to bother you with. So when in 2018 on Lake Como I presented Trips, nobody understood. It was really hard to understand. Who understood the internet 20, 30 years ago? Who understood the internet when they explained it? Did you understand the internet when somebody explained it to you? No. You had to experience it first, right? And then in 2018, you hadn't experienced the blockchain yet. And then you experienced it. And then you started using some dApps, which are these applications, basically websites and apps on the blockchain. And then you got it. And now you live into the blockchain. And this, very strange word became as familiar as the internet. So here we are. This is the new world where the blockchain is dominating. It took 10 years. There was a lot of hype in 2017 and 18. Everybody was waiting for a solution immediately. It took time as the internet took time. So let's see what the future brings us, and see you in 10 years. Bye. Anyway, so that was kind of the presentation I wanted to give. Tomorrow I'm gonna give a different presentation, maybe more difficult to understand, but I hope that through the questions and answers, I'm gonna be able to explain. The main problem with explaining blockchain is that you're trying to explain technology, and that's not the point. Okay, so well, let's see how it goes. I want to thank Antonio for giving us this chance, Richard for introducing, and I hope to meet everybody tomorrow. It's gonna be great. Bye.